Good evening and welcome to the latest edition of the Storm Report Live. We are presented by the pharmacy in Bennington and Manchester, JC Tractor, the Bennington Rescue Squad, King's Bread, and Ramontos North Adams. Today we are announcing a new player that we've added to the team. We'd like to welcome Mike Warren to the Storm family. Thank you for joining us today. Anybody that's played any kind of football in the area kind of knows Monty Warren, so we're very excited to have you here on the team. It's taken, at least for us, a very long time to get you in the Storm uniform, and we're very excited for that. So first off, man, welcome to the team.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
So I got to ask the question, why the Storm and why the Storm now? How did it all kind of come together?
Well, it kind of came together with Levante a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Levante been talking about this for about 2 or 3 years, and it's just with my brother not playing no more, I just able to do a few things on my own. So I figured, and it's closer to home, so I figured it's best fit for me.
No, that's great. I mean, it was very exciting because it's something that Levante has been talking to me for quite some time, and I think it helps us tremendously up front. So I think for me, I think it's a perfect marriage. But I'm kind of a little bit biased there, but I'm excited to have you for sure. So I want to take a few minutes to kind of get a chance to kind of know you a little bit further. So first question I have for you: where did you grow up?
I grew up in Springfield, Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm. Now, where did you go? Where did you play high school ball?
I played at my 9th grade year. I played at Central High School, and then I switched schools and I went to Putnam.
Okay. Now,
where I played my last years.
Gotcha. Now, where did the love of the game come from for you? What attracted you to the game of football? Like, where did that come from?
I think it was mostly my childhood, man. I just was my mom was a single mom. My grandfather had a couple other grandkids playing football. One day he said, maybe Monty would be good at football. And ever since then, it's been a part of my life.
Yeah. No, that's something in the brief time I've known you, that's something that's very, very clear is, Monty and the game of football kind of go together. So, as far as for me, more people that love football, the better off we are for it as a team. What age did you start playing football?
I might have been 9 or 10. I was a young kid, 9 or 10. I started later than the other kids in my neighborhood. I think I was maybe a year behind or 2 behind everybody else. So I kind of got a late start.
Yeah. So when you first started, what position did you play? Did you kind of figure it out as you went along, or is there a spot that you wanted?
It's so crazy, man. Like, I didn't go into when I first started playing, I didn't know what to expect. So I just went in, and it just so happened they asked me to play center. And the coach, I snapped the ball to the quarterback. He said, "Can you do that again?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "I did it again." I had a job the first day I showed up. And that's when I kind of knew this was my calling. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, again, biased opinion for me, I think center is the hardest position to play in all the positions, in my opinion, because there's a lot that rides on your shoulders. They always say that it starts with the offensive line. Well, that's true, but it also starts with the center, because if the quarterback doesn't get the ball on a consistent basis, you got nothing.
Definitely have to be able to multitask.
Oh, for sure. And there's a lot coming at you. Especially you got to worry about the snap count. You got to worry about getting the ball to where it belongs. You got to figure out who's coming where. There's a lot of moving pieces to it, and you have to be a smart football player, in my opinion, to be successful at that position.
Yes, sir.
Growing up, was there a player, a coach that you looked up to?
Oh, man, there's so many people. I mean, if I sat here and went through my list, man, we could go on all day. But a person that really stands out to me is Coach Johnson and Coach Claiborne. They were my first real coaches, and they didn't let me let up, man, at all. So, and I think that's where my drive comes from them guys.
Yeah, that's something we talk about as well. It really just comes down to how hard you want to work for it and how long you want to continue to work. As you're getting started, coming up through various levels of football. Was there a player that you kind of looked up to or modeled your game after, or is it something you just went out and played ball, you didn't worry about it, you kind of made your own name?
At first, man, it just became like I was just playing, you know. But as I got older, I started to idolize other people. You know what I mean? Like Warren Sapp was one of my favorite players. Reggie White, you know, like guys. Bruce Smith, you know, just a few guys. Leon Lett, you know, just a few guys that I watched, you know, in my day that really made me love the game of football.
Yeah, we're a similar age, so just about every guy you just listed off, I kind of felt the same thing. I mean, for me, as a kid, I'm a Bills fan, so during Pop Warner I always wore number 78 for Bruce Smith. So I definitely feel you on those names because I feel the same way.
I think everybody in the world thought they was Bruce Smith at that
time.
I
think so. No, he was a special dude.
Yes, sir.
You kind of touched this, you kind of touched on this already, but I guess it's a follow-up question to another one. Who pushed you along the way? Was there someone that kind of really had to keep you going, or is that more of just kind of came from within or combination of both?
I think I didn't really need no push because, you know, we had so much going on as a child. So that was like always my outlet to get away from home. I'm the oldest, you know, and so I got to get away and just be me for them 2 hours. So I think that's at first it started off like that, you know, outlet to be away from responsibilities and things that were going on in my life. You know what I mean?
I definitely do. So you've played a ton of football at a bunch of different places at a bunch of different levels. I know this is a hard question to answer because there's so many examples, but is there a game or a play that you look at that you will always look back on positively, one that you wish you could relive or hope you have more of?
Oh, man, I would have to say out of everything I've been through and all the games I played, I would have to say it was the Pioneer Valley Knights. That whole year was – a lot of people didn't know. I got hurt in preseason the second week. So I was hurt for the first half of that season. I had turf toe for about maybe 3 months, and I played every game. And we lost the first game, and we won every game all the way up the way. I think that's probably one of my biggest accomplishments ever in life.
Yep. What year was that?
I think that was 14.
14?
13, 14 maybe. I think that was.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Now that you're, with the Storm, what should your new teammates kind of expect out of you going forward?
I think that sometimes I can be a hard guy to get because my love for the game always overwhelms everything else. So sometimes guys can take me wrong, So that's like one of my only fears, that I don't want people to misunderstand me. I'm there for one thing and one thing only. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I keep it. Whether I'm at practice, or whether I'm at a game, or whether I'm at a meeting, I always keep it football like that because it's a part of my life and I take it very serious. No,
I can appreciate that. And just like anything else, it comes down to communication. I mean, certain people need to see that every once in a while. Myself included, every once in a while, I need to look at somebody who says, he's given all he's got. I need to pick up my end of things. So I appreciate that. And we talked about it before. For me, there's nothing worse than a guy that can play, has the ability to play, but doesn't put in the work. That's the worst. So I'll take somebody that works really hard over anything. Again, really early, I know it's hard for you to probably answer this question, but so far, what are your impressions of the team in general?
Well, the first impression I got, it was so many guys I knew there from either dealing with through Pittsfield, where I live now, or just throughout the years of playing football so long. I would say probably like half of them guys I know I've seen before. I played against. We heard of each other, so it's not like we're just strangers to each other.
Right.
So it was kind of easy to just ease my way in a little bit,
No, that's good. I mean, for me, it seemed like you hit the ground running. So it was a pleasure to see. And so far, I like to think that most of the guys that have come in have kind of felt the same way. So it's been a good process so far. again, we talked about this a little bit, I guess privately, you could say. As I've said, you played a bunch of games. You've been through a bunch of different experiences. Do you still get nervous before games? As if it's your first?
You know what? It's crazy because one of the young kids I played with a few years ago used to say, "Mom, why are you so quiet before the game?" Well, because I get the same feeling I got from the first game I ever played to up until the last game I played.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a feeling that you can shake. It's always going to be there. You know what I mean? You're always going to have the jitters. You're always going to have nervous. Because you want to do your best, and you know, and other people depending on you to do your best.
Mm-hmm.
So that's important. You know.
Absolutely. Again, playing for as long as you have, and being as successful as you have, what has been the key for you over the years at playing? Continuing to play at a high level.
Well, I have to say, man, my brother Mike, he keeps me young.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he expects so much of me, and I feel like, you know, sometimes you don't want to let him down. And my mom and my brothers are everything to me. You know, my brother Jamal, you know, they keep me level-headed, you know, definitely.
Excellent. No, that's, family's first. That's where it all starts. If you were to talk to a new player, a young player, what are one of the most important things that player can do to be successful?
Work out every day until your body can't take it no more. That's what I would tell him. Because it pays off in the long run. You might think it doesn't do nothing for you, but as an older guy, I didn't work out my younger days playing football. I just used to go out in the field and play.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but imagine how much better I would have been if I had somebody to really tell me, you need to be working out every day. You need to be doing this every day. You need to be eating right. You need to be, things that are important. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would try to tell them guys, you know?
No, I completely agree. I mean, we're a similar age, and I stopped playing a fair amount of years ago, and I look back at it and say, man, just wish I took it a little bit more seriously because I probably could have been a better teammate too, So
Yeah.
it's one of those things that you just kind of, you don't want that regret. And I honestly have a little bit of that, but I'm trying to make it up now. So that's all I can do.
It's all right. I got you,
Coach. Second to last question here for you. What are your passions outside of football? If there is anything.
I just think family, most of all being around my family and my kids, and the people that are in my inner circle are really like is really what I focus on outside of the game. Because those are the people that matter to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep. No, that's a very, very solid answer. Actually, I lied. I got two more questions. As we move into 2020 and things seems as though are headed in a positive direction, what would you consider a successful 2020 season?
Man, I'm very I feel like it's championship or bust for me anywhere I go. Mm-hmm. That's just the way I am, man. I just expect the best, and I'm gonna give my all, and hopefully the guys around give their all.
Well, that's the name of the game, man. No singular player can do it on his own, but a singular player can absolutely lead a group, lead by example. That's the biggest thing. So last question for you. Again, this kind of has to relate it to the current state of affairs. As things start getting back to normal, what are you looking forward to the most to get back to something that you couldn't do now that you could do before?
I haven't worked out since March 31st. So that's one of the main things is my goal to get back into my groove. I've been working out constantly for the last 3 years. So that was a big challenge for me to not work out. But I just tried to push it through. And when the time comes, I'll get ready and I'll be looking forward to working out every Tuesday.
No, that was a hard thing for a lot of people. Trying to, if nothing else, you don't have that release that you normally have in it. So finally getting back to somewhat normal is kind of exciting. So, but anyway, I want to thank you first of all for join the team. And secondly, thank you for taking the time to come here. And lastly, we look forward to your leadership and your play on the field this year.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me, man.
Absolutely. All right. Well, have a great evening, and I'll catch you soon.
You too, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Go Storm.